In my childhood, I grew up playing these James Bond games from EA and Activision. Although I prefer EA's 007 games more than Activision's because they felt better and had more sauce in them than the Activision ones. I played all of these games, and each one was better than the older ones in a lot of ways. Obviously, gaming and technology evolve, so each game offered different and new ideas. The last game was 007 Legends in 2012. So we, James Bond fans, waited 14 years to get another Bond game. Then 007 First Light was announced on June 2nd, 2025, and it's being made by IO Interactive, the people behind Hitman. Without taking too long, I know everyone knows that Hitman is a phenomenal game. The sheer amount of possibilities to finish a mission and assassinate a target is impressive. As a fan of Hitman since Blood Money, I was excited to the roof. Ever since the announcement, the first two things that came to my mind were Hitman gameplay and Q's cool gadgets. All James Bond games had cool gadgets, and each game offered something new to use, especially the EA games. EA's Bond games were much more focused on gadgets and the classic Q branch fantasy, while Activision's Bond games were generally more action-focused. There was even a joke about the grappling gun from the older games in 007 First Light.
Hard to reach.
Yeah. Should have asked Q for a grapple gun.
You think it will?
This is why I believe 007 First Light works so well. It mixed the best parts of the old Bond games and added social interactions and infiltration. Here you go. You've got the perfect 007 game. I believe 007 First Light perfected social interaction and infiltration because of how much experience IO Interactive has from the Hitman games. It also has the important thing James Bond needs, the charm and the ability to talk his way into and out of situations. Let's just say it's a less complicated Hitman. Don't expect The Last of Us AI. It's basically Hitman enemy AI. But if you start shooting, they're actually good and try to flank you and overwhelm you. I won't talk a lot about the brawler combat. It's very similar to Uncharted and Batman, and for me, they did a great job with it. I don't actually have much to add here other than the characters were perfectly cast. My favorite was Greenway. He started as an insufferable person, but becomes an iconic character by the end while acting as a mentor to James. The mission design was as great as Hitman's. Every place is detailed to the point that I can't find words to praise them. One thing I have to mention is how great the female characters look in 007 First Light. Not only are the character models incredibly detailed, but the facial animations and overall presentation are some of the best I've seen in a spy game. Whether it's Isola or the other characters you meet throughout the story, they all have their own style, personality, and screen presence. It really feels like IO Interactive understood the classic Bond formula, where every major character leaves an impression. Combined with the beautiful locations, lighting, and cinematic cutscenes, the whole game has the premium James Bond movie feel. Honestly, there were several moments where I forgot I was playing a game and felt like I was watching a modern Bond movie. 007 First Light is an original story about a young James Bond before he becomes the famous 007. He's only 26 years old and still inexperienced. The twist in the story really got me. You've got Isola, Greenway, and a young Bond trying to prove himself and grow into the agent we all know. The villain is just not there. I know it's hard to pull off the perfect, memorable villain, But this one is just boring, and I don't even remember his name. Usually you always feel like you want to get the villain at the end. But with this one, I just didn't care about him at all. I hope future games give us better villains and stronger performances. While playing, I was just enjoying being James Bond, and the villain was completely out of my mind. Even after finishing the game, everyone should try Purist mode and the challenges. These will make you feel even more like a spy in Bond. The future definitely has more to offer because IO Interactive will 100% add more content to this, just like Hitman, which I still play to this day. The game isn't perfect, and the driving sequences feel scripted, almost like a movie, but they're still fun. Thank you for listening.